So with that, we'll begin with item 11, Senator Steinberg, SB 520.
520. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. A small technical bill.
Yeah, right. Excuse me.
Yes, a district bill. I appreciate, of course, the opportunity to present to the committee. And like many important issues, this bill is generating quite the conversation. And in part, that is my intent and my goal. But it's also my goal here to try to pass legislation that will strengthen our public college and university system, not only respect but enhance and elevate the role of the faculty, but at the same time deal aggressively with what we call the bottleneck issue in all three of our systems. The fact, and you don't just need to see it or know it through statistics, but anyone who has a college-age child or a friend who's in school knows the plight of young people who enroll at one of our university or college systems who has a very hard time getting their basic undergraduate courses to be able to move through the system in the appropriate 2 or 4 year period of time. We know that the fundamental problem, of course, is funding, and the fact that we have made cuts that have been very, very difficult for students and for our university system, and certainly we look forward to beginning this year to reinvest back in the higher education, but it doesn't change the fact that unless we are open and creative and innovative, that there will be too many students for the foreseeable future who won't be able to get the classes that they need. And so the bill has generated a lot of controversy. Controversy, I think, over some very legitimate issues, of course, but also a lot of fear that this is a stalking horse to contract out or displace faculty or other public workers. And those who know me and know my record and what I'm about know that that certainly is not the intent, but we take the concern seriously. And in that spirit, I want to begin by suggesting some additional amendments beyond the amendments that have been suggested by the committee in the analysis that I hope might, if it doesn't remove the opposition, because I have no expectation in that regard, but might shift the conversation. So the concern is that we're mandating 50 private-public partnerships. That's what we want to do in the bill. And the reason we want to do that is we want to kickstart this. And we want the good practitioners, like Udacity, which you'll hear from its founder in a few moments. We want to be able to take that San Jose State partnership model, and we want to provide some incentive to scale that. That's the goal here. So we have said 50 courses by 2014, and we've gotten some pushback on that. So we want to suggest the following changes. Number one, that the faculty senates have 50 as its aspirational goal, but they only approve courses that meet the quality standard. So if it's less than 50, so be it, so long as the bill establishes a process by which the system publishes and follows through on an application process by a reasonable date so that as many courses as possible could be approved by the fall of 2014. So 50 is the goal, not the absolute mandate, with quality always being the standard. Second, and maybe the most significant amendment that we will seek to make here today, is is that we want to say that the 50 may include a combination of public-private partnerships like the Udacity partnership with San Jose State, and or public-public partnerships. And how do I define public-public partnerships? And I know we need to do some drafting, and if the committee passes the bill, the amendments would be taken and perfected, I suppose, in the next committee. I define public-public as cross-campus or cross-segment courses. So in other words, we know there are a lot of online courses at campuses now. Those aren't relieving the bottleneck problem. But I'm willing to say in this bill that we set up an application process, and the applicants can be cross-campus, public-public, or cross-segment, public-public, or private-public, that would meet the goal of the 50 courses we want to get online by the fall of 2014. I want to further clarify by formal amendment in this bill that no public money can be used for the private side of the partnership. No public money used for the private side of the partnership. The private side brings its technology and its technology base and its innovation, and it is matched with the public faculty, the public instructional aides, the public technology people and experts, and that no public money can be used for the private side. Let the private side invest its capital and partner with the public side. As I said a moment ago, what we would require is that the systems establish an application process by a reasonable date so that there is a chance, if there are 50 or more applications that meet the quality standard, that they can be up and running by the fall of 2014. Now, what do we get out of the bill, given these amendments? This is what we get. We get a process for a statewide approval process for courses that meet the quality definition that are either private-public or, as I described earlier and defined, public-public partnerships. I think that is a fair and reasonable approach that deals very directly with every concern that I have heard here. And I hope that the committee, and looking at the bill, but also hearing what I just said, will see to move the bill forward today. I urge and I vote.
Morning, Chair Liu and members of the committee. My name is Bob Powell. I'm a professor of chemical engineering and material science and food science and technology at UC Davis. I'm also the chair of the Academic Senate of the University of California. I'm here today on behalf of the university to regretfully express our opposition to Senate Bill 520 as written. This would require which would require CSU, UC, and the community colleges to partner with private online course providers in order to deliver lower division classes in an online format for academic credit across all three segments. I note that my colleagues from CSU and the community colleges, their senates, are also here and plan to speak in opposition. Because Senator Steinberg has been a champion for higher education, we have adopted our opposed position very, very reluctantly. I assure you that UC shares Senator Steinberg's belief that online education will be a component of our commitment to access. Indeed, UC is working with online education, and we are planning to ramp up these efforts once the $10 million that is in the governor's proposed budget is available. I note that in 2011-12, UC campuses offered approximately 2,600 online courses that enrolled 90,000 students, and over 250 of these are offered for credit for UC undergraduate and graduate degree programs. With respect to this proposed legislation, UC already collaborates with MOOCs. UC Berkeley is a partner with edX. UC Irvine, UC San Francisco are partners with Coursera. UC Davis, UC Santa Cruz, and UC San Diego are also planning to offer MOOC courses. 20 UC courses are offered by this platform. Many others are under construction. Campuses also use a variety of other platforms that maximize the quality of the education across diverse disciplines. Let me report a little bit on what we've done already, just after the news that we may be getting the allocation. In January, President Yudof announced a new program to encourage further development of online courses, particularly those needed to complete major and general education requirements. Less than 2 weeks ago, Saturday, April 13th, about 200 faculty and administrators came together on an all-university workshop to discuss this. Tomorrow, UC Provost Amy Dorr and I will host an all-university webinar to discuss our synthesis of what occurred on April 13th. A week from Saturday, UC leaders from across the state will meet in Oakland to finish preparing the groundwork for a formal request for proposals for new courses that will be offered across the UC system, and that RFP will issue in June. Work on new courses will begin as early as July. None of this about online education is new to UC. In 1997, as the use of the Internet started to explode, an all-university conference was held at UCLA. And we discussed how to harness this technology for higher education, and even then faculty were discussing what had become known as hybrid courses and flipped classrooms. However, we were ahead of the times. The technology, the physical and software infrastructure was not yet available to make widespread use. In the intervening years, our faculty have invented new technologies and incorporated them into their research. These same faculty, as well as the new generation who created many of the new technologies, are now embracing them in both virtual and physical classrooms. In 1997, when confronted by skeptics who doubted that our faculty would adopt new learning technologies, an old faculty member, someone about my age, in 1997, said this: "If this technology proposes interesting questions that can be addressed through scholarship, the faculty of the University of California will embrace it and claw their way to the forefront of the area." My message today is that we are at the forefront. We intend not just to stay there, but to define new frontiers for our scholarship and pedagogy, and we will shepherd the resources of this state to provide the biggest bang for the buck. We will make courses that go across our system that students can register. Students from UC Davis can register in a course from UC Irvine. In closing, I ask you, the senators who represent the state of California, to stand by us, the faculty of the 3 higher education segments who have stood with you in service to California through these terrible financial times. We ask you to trust our judgment, and we seek your respect for what we do and the public good that we serve. Thank you.